Meteorologist Jackson Chastain here with the latest edition of WeatherWise. Now, we're getting closer and closer to the beginning of winter, not necessarily meaning we're going to get any snow or anything. I know that's what you guys are thinking. Hey, we got some snow last year, maybe we get some this year. Again, if we do, that's great. If not, it's Mississippi, right? But anyways, in terms of snow, that's what we're going to be talking about this week in this latest edition of WeatherWise, specifically something called snow ratios. Now, it's very easy to look at snow and just kind of think it's all the same, right? You know, you get 5 feet of snow in Tennessee, should be 5 feet of snow in Alaska, but that's actually not true. Depending on how much moisture is in the air, the actual composition, the size of the snow, the liquid equivalent changes, and it changes quite drastically. And what I mean by snow ratio is, for example, we have a 10-to-1 snow ratio right here. All that means is that for every 10 inches of snow, you get 1 inch of liquid equivalent of water. So if it were to snow 10 inches, that would be the same thing as if it rained a whole inch of rain. So, that just tells you how little water each individual snowflake actually has in it, how little water actually ice has in it. An example, if you only got trace amounts of snow, you're only going to get trace amounts of liquid equivalent rain. Now, bump that up to about an inch of snow, that's about 1/10 of an inch of rain. You bump that up to 5 inches, that's a 1/2 an inch of rain. You bump that up to 10 inches, that's about 1 inch of rain right there. So you're starting to get to see the pattern right here when I'm talking about snow ratio. You got your 10-to-1, 10 inches of snow is equal to 1 inch of rain. And if you have a 20-to-1, for example, this is what I'm talking about. Your ratios can be different. If you have drier snow, you'll have these higher snow ratios. So if you go to places such as Montana, Colorado, Utah, places like that tend to have drier snow. There's not as much moisture there. We tend to have more wet snow in places like Mississippi, but places where you get a 20-to-1 snow ratio, 2 inches of snow is only 1/10 of an inch of equivalent of rain. You bump that up to 10 inches of snow, that's only 1/2 an inch of rain. 20 inches of snow, finally, you get 1 equivalent inch of rain. So that's just think about that for a second. You get 20 inches of snow, that's almost 2 feet's worth. That's only worth 1 inch of rain. So it's very, very small amount of return for the amount of snow that is being output. And another way to look at it right here, just kind of from a side-to-side perspective, 3.2 inches of snow, that would be about 0.32 inches of rain equivalent, and it's really not a whole lot right here. I mean, this amount of water versus this amount of snow, again, just shows you how little water is actually in ice when it freezes. So, snow ratios, that's something to pay attention to depending on where you live. Remember, you get more wet snow with more water in it in the south. Typically, you go north, you get more dry snow. But this has been the latest edition of WeatherWise. As always, if you guys have any questions, you can always post those to our Facebook, to our Twitter. You can send me an email, but otherwise, you guys have a great one.